Greetings YouTube and welcome to the Blue Corner and to some Cardfight OCG results. We're now in week 1 of the new format that is Extra Booster 8, and for at least as long as it will be, which is what, 3 weeks, we get to see what's going on with the release of Grand Blue, Aquaforce, and Dimension Police's Wave 2. And well, some things were expected, others were unexpected. But first, let's get through the premium leg of this because we have the GP Aqua Finals, which is a tournament that consists of the 16 people who had to win a qualifier in order to attend. And it was won by OTT Magus Water. So, an interesting note about OTT is that Silent Tom is sometimes not seeing play. In fact, the deck is just winning off of the combination of the Ichikishima strides and the Magus cards that happen to gel together. Tetra Magus is a fantastic grade 1, you've got Rectangle Magus, Hexagonal Magus, and you've got the older Magus cards that are sometimes seen play, like the starter. I think you sometimes there's like the double rare grade 2 Magus that also sees play, and like this deck is just really good. And Ichikishima is a really obnoxious stride. Like the thing is that when it comes to premium, you have quite a few number of viable decks. However, the thing I've noticed is that there are 3 top decks that sit above everything else, and they are OTT Magus Water, Luard, and Azel. Then after that, you've got decks like Dimension Dark Irregulars, Neo Nectar, and I'm trying to think of what else has been seeing a decent amount of competitive play in the format. Oh yeah, Nova Grappler. Whoops. Yeah, as good as Universe Ace Bustard is, Novas can struggle to get out of the gate, whereas Shadows, OTT, and Gold Paladin, they can go off immediately and they have better early. So that is just a thing to keep back in your mind. When it comes to like overall expense of these decks, though, it seems to be that Neo Nectar is the cheapest. Oh right, I forgot about BT. Like BT's also in there too, but it seems like OTT, Luard, and Gold Paladin pop off faster. But anyway, back to Neo Nectar. So Neo Nectar seems to be the cheapest of the alternatives because of what the deck consists of. And we'll find out in a moment because there's a couple Neo lists in here. Particularly in the Business Trip Grand Prix Akiba 2019, Hakata, 61 people were at this. It was won by Azel, Luar got 2nd, Azel got 3rd, Neo Nectar got 4th, Carol Shizuku got in the top 8, another Neo Nectar got in top 8, Azel got in top 8, and Hamsuke Big Belly got in top 8. So here's your Gold Paladin, here's your Luard, more Gold Paladin, Neo Nectar. Okay, so this one I'll talk about a bit because I have a good idea of what most of these cards do. So when it comes to this deck and the overall expense of it, the only real pricey cards that you have to worry about is Pansy's Musketeer Sylvia, the grade 2 triple rare that calls a token, and Maiden of Gladios, assuming you don't have any from your Neo Nectar trial decks from way back in the day, Flower Maiden of Purity. The foil version of Maiden of Gladios is, I think, over $10 now, and the common one is about $5 or more. Like I paid $40 for my set, and the reason why she's hyped up like this is that she's the Amber clone of the deck, and on attack when she's boosted, counter +1, clone one of your rear guards, so you clone your Sylvia, or you clone your Maiden of Trailing Rose, and they call a token out so you get an extra attack, or you clone your Kaivant who comes out giant because of the fact you have multiple tokens. So those, oh yeah, and I guess the Bloom Perfect Guard too if you want to go that route. And like your G-Zone is just for Katrina, your Generation Break 8, which is cheap, and your Perk Ninja Dragon Stride, because this deck will almost never use Zoa unless like you literally have nothing else going on. And then your G-Guards are cheap. Like, this is probably one of the more inexpensive decks to build in the format, and when it comes down to Perfect Guards, you don't even need draw PGs. You can just play 12 crits, and then you can run normal PGs, and there's one in particular worth pointing out. But let's get into this top 8. So, here's your BT, here's your other Neo Nectar deck list, and this guy is playing the Bloom Perfect Guard from GPT-6, whose name I cannot remember for the life of me, but I vehemently defended playing this card over Tyranny during Awakening Zoo format, because you can call it out of the deck, and then when it blooms, you counter +1 and bounce all copies of it from your field to your hand. And what they're doing here is they're using Katrina to call these out in multiples, counter +1, bounce them back, and then you call your tokens where the perfect cards would be. So it's a searchable PG, and yeah, you just play your giant amount of crits, and you have searchable perfect cards. Why not? And hell, this deck can play Hanoli too, because you can just call out with Katrina and shut down multi-attacks. And as far as the Great Threes go, you're just playing Maiden, the Trailing Rose, and the Tomato, because they both produce tokens. Clever. Then you have your Azel here, and yes, Big Belly with shit, Hamskate. Yeah, Hamskate Big Belly. That's the name. So there you go. Great Nature has some stuff to do. Like Crayon Tiger is still an incredibly good card, and why has it not been reprinted yet? Oh, maybe someday. Then we get into the standard stuff. So first up, we have the second Yellow Submarine Kyoto VGCS VMC qualifier. No known number, however, it's probably close to 64. Messiah won it. Grand Blue got second. BT got third, and Grand Blue got fourth. The first and fourth place lists were not published at the time of this being shot. However, the Grand Blue lists are, so let's take a look. Now, notably, these decks are not playing Baskirk like I thought they would, as by playing a more Cocytus-oriented lineup, you run the risk of decking out. But then again, why worry about decking out when you can just kill your opponent faster, or they'll probably just kill you because their deck's powerful, like BT and such. So as a result, they've gone with multiple Cocytus and Skull Dragon, Flonger, and Scaredick, all as powerful beaters. Now, what's also neat is that this deck is playing 12 crits, and it actually likes having the grade 1 perfect cards that are released in these new sets, because they say when you ride them, you draw a card and discard one, which makes it a somewhat weaker Romario, but still a form of drop zone filtering. Then you've got the new Banshee card, who plays from drop zone, Soul Blast 1's a draw card. So this deck has draw power. Greed Shade gives you toolboxing out of the drop zone. It's got some really nice stuff, and by the looks of it, this, yeah, like I figured, it's the de facto best protect deck of the format, at least until OTT's Wave 3 kicks in. Then we look at this Grand Blue deck list, and he's playing multiple copies of Scaredick, less copies of Skull Dragon, and longer. So, like, the idea of this deck is pretty clear. Turbo out your drop zone, call your board, and then just beat face with big numbers with crits and shit. And thing to note about Scaredick is that the counter, you can, if you have 2 in play, you can counter +1, ditch your hand, and buff them up with power and a crit, and then your second one can counter +1, and then since you have no hand, you still get the effect because you're just discarding all the available cards in your hand. So yeah, you can, if you have 2 open counterblasts, you can call down double Scaredick and swing with giant numbers. Neat. Then moving on, we have the Komikaru VGCS VMC qualifier, 52 people. It was won by Link Joker. Second to fourth place is unknown, and the lists have not been posted. However, for the numbers go, Link Joker was the most played, followed by Kagero, Grand Blue, and BT's numbers are down. Interesting. Do we have the numbers in that one? No, we do not. So that's interesting. Moving on, the Oka Lab VGCS VMT qualifier, BT won it. Messiah got second, Nova Grappler got third, and BT got fourth. And as the numbers go, Kagero seeing a lot of play, followed by BT, Nova Grappler, and Dimension Police, Link Joker, and Grand Blue. Interesting to note, though, that we haven't seen Kagero in the top cut yet. Anyway, first place deck list is BT. Then you've got Messiah. Then you've got Nova Grappler and BT. Moving on, we have the 193 VGCS, 46 people, won by BT. Second place is Dimension Police, so DP's first appearance here. Third place, Messiah. And fourth place, Grand Blue. And as far as the numbers go, Grand Blue was the most played deck, followed by BT, Nova Grappler, Aqua Force, Kagero, Dimension Police, and so on and so on. So here's your BT, here's your Dimension Police, and they are playing, 12 grade 3s, which I figure would be the case. You've got Messiah, and finally, oh wait, is this guy playing, this guy's playing Messiah and Grayon, and one copy of the other dude. I should probably take a peek at that other Messiah deck list for a second here. Oh, this guy's playing just the standard 2 grade 3, so this is a little different. And moving on to Grand Blue, and this one's playing Baskirk in addition to Scaredick, Skull Dragon, and Flonger. That's a lot of 3s. You've got Greed Shade, the new ship, Night Mist. Night Mist has proven to be pretty good, and this is... I've also noticed that Ruin Shade is seeing almost no play. We just only have seen one list with Ruin Shade, but it's just honestly not needed because of how much you're going through with Cocytus. Like, if you resolve a Cocytus, you're going through 4 cards. If you drive check, that's another 2, and your draw return, that's another one. So that's a full 7 cards out of your deck for each turn you're on Cocytus, and that's not also counting into things such as Greed Shade and Romario. So this guy's playing 1 draw PG though, but 11 crits, and 2 normal PGs. Also, you've got Protect that acts as your other PGs. So yeah, what can we say out of this? Well, I am a bit surprised, pleasantly so, that Grand Blue is at least doing decently. I'm shocked that Kagro is gone. Like, we have not seen a single Kagro in here. Aquaforce was also not present, but I wasn't really surprised by that. Glory Maelstrom is good, and they've also got some other good cards, but I just felt like they weren't really going to be able to compete in a format where you've got BT running around as king, and then you've got removal clans such as Kagro, and even DP to some extent. DP with the 1 top, but again, I said a long time ago, though, I wasn't expecting this deck to really do a whole lot because, again, it's a Forest Clan, and right now, at least for the format, if you could play a Forest Clan, why would you want to play something other than BT when it's just so very good and so very efficient at what it does? DP is a bit more setup oriented. You want to see the Dialander and set up in the next turn, whereas BT can just ride the yellow card and immediately go off. So, bit of an emphasis on those first 2 grade 3 turns, as that's more or less where the game really starts and just really ends. Like, the second grade 3 turn is usually the kill play. It's the equivalent of second stride. Man, remember when people thought that going into standard format would slow things down? Oh lordy, if anything, we've actually sped things up by 1 whole turn. But anyway, that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Comment down below on your thoughts on DP, Grand Blue, and Aquaforce, and if the fact that Aquaforce didn't top this week is a bit concerning, because usually it's that first week of a set release that people are more willing to experiment with a new deck or new support, and if it's not able to top, the following weeks people are less likely to play it. But maybe they'll do better over here. We do have some pretty dedicated Aqua players. I'm sure Solemn will try his absolute damnedest to try and break this deck, and you've also got Cardfight King and Wave Nation and so on. So also shoutouts to you guys. Anyway, that's all for this. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, this is Booster9 checking out.